I'm generally not a fan of single yarn cast-ons because I find that single yarn cast-ons generally don't work. But I've discovered a new one, and I really need to share it with you. It's a complex one, so we're going to do it in several parts. The first part is we're going to leave a short tail, and we're going to make a simple slip knot. Actually, we're going to make a simple slip knot. We're going to make a stitch on it. There's a more complex way of doing that, so I'm not going to teach that right now. First part is how you hold the yarn. You're going to grab the yarn into your hand, wrap it around your index finger, then around your thumb, and bring the knot, or the first stitch, to the top of your index finger. Okay? So that's into your hand, around your index finger, around your thumb, with a stitch ending, or the needle with any stitches on it ending at the top of your thumb. That's part one, how you're holding the yarn. Part two is we're going to go under the first stitch, then over the second yarn. Let's try that again because it's not a stitch. We're going to take our needle and we're going to pivot under the back yarn, over the top yarn, and bring the yarn a loop under. Now I'm going to stop here and show you that's the kind of twist. Okay, I'm going to open it up that way. That's the kind of twist you want. You'll notice up until now my palm of my hand has been facing you. At this point I'm going to twist my entire arm and turn it around so the back of my hand faces you. Bingo. There we go. What that does is open the loop up, and you can see this yarn is sitting here behind the loop. I'm now going to pick a stitch up, and there's the stitch on the needle. Now I have to do two things. One, I have to secure that stitch I've just made with a thumb, sometimes with a thumb and index finger, and then I let go of this thumb yarn and slowly just tighten up the stitch. And there's our first stitch. So let's do that again. First step, put the hand into our yarn and position it so that the stitch is about where the top of the index finger. We go under the back yarn, and right now I'm doing this through the camera screen so it's a little difficult, over the front yarn and pull it through, making a twisted loop. We then turn our hand so that twisted loop opens up. We pick up the stitch, secure the stitch on the needle with our finger, and gently tighten it up. Okay, a third time. Yarn in the hand. Position the yarn. Put the needle under, put the needle over, and bring it back so that we have a twisted loop on the needle. Pivot our hand round so that the loop opens up. Pick up the stitch. Secure the stitch with our thumb, and gently secure it. What happens is we have a double knotted because each and every stitch, and I'm going to do one now freehand and not put it on the needle. Okay, so I'm going to do this stitch. I'm going to actually slide it off the needle, and I'm going to snug it up as I do. And look what we have. We have a slip knot down here with a stitch coming through it. So we have a double slip knot. We have a knot coming round, and we have a slip. Now you'd think with a knotted cast-on like this that it would be very tight and it would be very hard to work. And surprisingly, it's not. Because of the way you have these twisted knots, you have little space between them. This is a fairly stretchy cast-on. It's pretty excellent. In fact, I would suggest it for socks combined with ribbing. I was taught this cast-on by a Russian woman in my building who called it a cast-on for ribbing. And what I like is if you look at the edge from the top, it's a very attractive little edge, and it's not that difficult. Let's review. First we position the yarn, the single yarn, in our hand by bringing it over our index, around our thumb, and bring the needle back to the index. We then go under the back yarn, over the front yarn, and bring the front yarn to the back. We then twist our hand so that the loop is open. So we go from the palm to the back of the hand, and then we pick up the stitch. Oops, messed up that time. Under, over, twist, pick up. And then holding the stitch, we pull the yarn tight to secure it. And if you're not careful, you can get that little loop. Obviously, it takes a little finagling, a little practice. I've been practicing it a lot. I hope you'll try this cast on. I think it's an excellent cast on when you have to do a cast on at the end of the row or anything else. It's surprisingly stretchy. You can try for yourself, make a swatch and see how stretchy it is. And it's very neat and attractive. And it's a spectacular new cast on, and I don't come across those very often.